HarperCollins and Harper Audio present Hitman, the untold story of Canada's deadliest assassin, by Julian Sher and Lisa Fitterman, read by Jean Brassard. To our parents, for their support and inspiration. Prologue. Death Comes Calling. Darlene Weichold was worried. It was 9 p.m. on December 8, 1978, and her older brother had promised to call hours earlier to arrange to take her and her cousin Janet shopping the next day. The 14-year-old sat by the phone in the living room of the little house she shared with her mom in southwest Montreal, but it remained silent. When she tried to call him, it rang and rang until she hung up, frustrated. "What's he doing?" Darlene asked Janet, who'd stopped by to keep her company while her mom had a girls' night out. "Billy's not like this. When he says he's going to do something, he does it." "Billy's a guy," Janet replied. "They do things like this sometimes." "Nope," Darlene said, shaking her head. "Not Billy. For me, he has always done what he said he'd do." Of her three older brothers, Billy, who at 21 was 7 years older than his little sister, was the one Darlene was closest to. He was a railway worker, like the other men in the family, and a ladies' man who held doors open for women and always seemed to have one on his arm. The drum player in a garage band, he could practice for hours at a time, his 3 dogs so accustomed to the racket they could sleep through it without a twitch. If Darlene had a problem, Billy was the brother she'd go to for help. If she was feeling lonely, he would come to pick her up and take her back to his place in Greenfield Park, just across the Champlain Bridge on Montreal's South Shore, a trim 2-story home with a peaked roof and driveway. It's why, on that cold December evening, Darlene was worried. He'd never do something to hurt her or make her feel she didn't count, at least not intentionally. Even though she tried to keep calm in front of Janet, deep down she knew something was wrong. But what? Her mom was out at the horse races, then planned to continue the get-together at one of her friends' homes. There was no way for Darlene to reach her until later, when she was in a house with a phone, to ask that she come home with the car so they could go check on Billy. To pass the time, the girls turned on the TV and began to switch channels, idly looking for something to watch. Click, Donnie and Mary. Click, The Rockford Files. Click, The Love Boat. Darlene couldn't concentrate. Where is he? Just after 11 p.m., she turned the TV dial to CFCF, CTV's Montreal affiliate station, and came to a sudden stop. On the screen was the report of a shooting on Verchères Street. That was where Billy lived. There were flashing red lights, sirens, and cops. Cops everywhere. The journalist was at the scene, holding a microphone in gloved hands as he reported on multiple bullets being fired in front of a house. It appeared the unidentified victim, who'd been struck in the back, died instantly. Billy was probably stuck in the mayhem, unable to reach her, Darlene thought. Unnerved, unsuspecting, and hopeful, she went to sleep, but not for long. She would soon waken to news that would upend her life for good. It would be more than 6 years before Darlene would find out who had killed her brother, what seemed like an eternity, during which she tried to harden herself against the whispers that Billy had been a biker, and that's why he was dead, that the family itself was no good. Finally, in 1985, she learned the truth, not from the police, but from the radio and newspaper articles screaming headlines about a killer with the nickname Apache. His real name was Yves Trudeau. He had been a founder of the first Hells Angels chapter in Quebec, and then became a relentless hitman for the outlaw bikers. For 15 years, he had carried out his kills in the shadows, unknown and undetected by police. Only a shocking turn of events in 1985 would catapult him onto the front pages and all over the TV news.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?